Welcome to this new channel by Unacademy, which is called Desi Doctor Abroad. In this channel, we shall be discussing a lot of issues relevant to the medical students who are pursuing their medical graduation from abroad. Something which is very, very important here is Usmle, which is the US Medical Licensing Exam. So today we shall be discussing a brief overview of how to go about it, what are the top resources that you need to use, and what is the overall cost of this entire process as of now. Before I start, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Dr. Zainab Vora, and I've done my MBBS and MD in radiology from AIIMS, New Delhi. After that, I pursued my senior residency from AIIMS, New Delhi, and I've been teaching medical PG aspirants for NEET PG since the past 3 years. I have also given my USMLE exam, so I've cleared step 1 as well as step 2 exams. So that is the brief introduction on myself, and now we begin on the introduction to USMLE. Right, so how do you apply? So the portal that you have to go to is the ECFMG site, right? So this is the main website when you need to apply as well as schedule the various exams that you're going to be appearing for. So this ECFMG is the certification that you are actually applying for, which is the Education Commission for the foreign medical graduates, right? So here when you go to the website, you'll find all of these things on the home page. Go to the online services, right? And this is the main page where you find this IWA, which is the interactive web applications. Once you go here, you will be directed to the important stuff that you need to know as far as the application is concerned. So they'll have the entire detailed PDF as to what is the exact procedure, how do you register, what are the documents which are required. So some documents would need to be sent as a hard copy, whereas a few documents would need to be sent from your medical school as well, as a part of ensuring that you are completing your MBBS from a competent college, right? So that is what it entails. You'll get the entire information from the website itself, so go check it out, which is the IWA. In that you also have the OSS page, which is the online applicant status and information system, wherein you'll also get the information about where your registration is at the process at the moment, and where you are in the entire scheme of things. So this is the main page where you will get all the information about the nitty-gritties of the application process. Talking briefly about the fees that the entire process involves, because obviously it is something which is cost heavy investment, and if you're really gonna pursue it, what does it entail? So first is the application fee per se for the entire process, which is $150. After that, for each exam you're gonna have $975, which will not include the fees that you will be paying for the center, right, for the prometric center that you shall be applying for. That is slightly more, but it's not very expensive. So that's something which also is additional. So this is the entire amount that it will take. So amounts somewhere to 2100, which is 1.5 lakhs in Indian national rupees. So basically this is the cost of application, right? Apart from this, the resources. So obviously you're gonna have to use certain resources to prepare. So the two main areas that you're gonna have to use will include: one, a question bank. That is the main tool that you will need. It is something which is a must do. So you have to invest in a question bank for USMLE, and you can use various books which are available easily in the form of PDFs almost freely, right? So you will be using a combination of these two, but the core is going to consist of the question bank, right? So what I feel is the gold standard, what I have done for both my step 1 and step 2 CK, almost all my friends have used this, is UWorld question bank, right? So UWorld is, I feel it's the gold standard, it's the best question bank for USMLE. Apart from there, you also have the Amboss question bank, which is there, right? So both of these are there. I did not use a lot of Amboss, so I'm not the best person to comment on how good it is, but these are the two main resources which are out there. UWorld has been there for longer, and it has a very good user interface, and the solutions which are given are extremely conceptual. In fact, just doing UWorld alone, I feel is enough, to crack the exams if you have a strong MBBS base, or you have done, you have prepared for NEET PG or FMG exams. So if you have a good knowledge base, UWorld is all that you need to develop that acumen of solving USMLE questions. So more than the knowledge of the facts per se, what USMLE will test you in both of its steps is a lot of conceptual framework, a lot of clinical acumen that you have built, So it is very, very beautifully created exam, and UWorld does a very good job at emulating it. So that is something that I would highly, highly recommend you to do. Even if you're trying out Amboss, basically both of them have a trial versions which are available, right? So do check them both out and see what suits your frequency, what kind of an interface is matching, because the quality of questions, I'm sure, is at par, right? So this is the UWorld question bank which I was talking about. So again, just to dwell on the cost, so you get variety of subscription models based on the time that you have at hand. So obviously it will depend on how much time are you willing and how much time you have at your disposal to give dedicatedly to USMLE preparation. Most of us do it along with some sort of a residency or while pursuing your medical graduation. So it takes roughly 3 months of your time at least. So I feel a safe plan is to have a 6-month plan. That is what I had purchased for both my steps, and it served me well because you get that buffer. Because the moment we plan that I'm going to give the exam 3 months down the line, there's always going to be some sort of inertia. There are going to be things which come up in between. So it always stretches to at least 4 to 5 months. So it's good to have a backup, because then again you'll have to, purchase a 90-day access again, which is more cost heavy, right? So I feel the best is to have a 6-month plan, because minimum 3 months I think it will take to go through the question bank alone and to revise it one more time. So I would recommend doing the question bank at least twice. Do it once with all your heart, reading all the concepts, annotating your first aid along with it. The second time you're just revising, you're quickly going through the questions and getting, making sure that you're getting most of it correct, and revising your first aid and whatever books you have consolidated. So that's how your standard preparation goes along. So 3 months plus 1.5 months of revision is a good enough time, in my opinion, to crack UWorld, if basically you have some sort of a preparation that you have done before, and it's not the very first time you are reading all of these subjects. So as you know, USMLE step 1 is going to include our first prof and second prof subjects from India, which include anatomy, physiology, biochemistry. You'll have microbiology, pathology, and you'll also have pharmacology, right? So these are the subjects that are mainly focused on in step 1, along with some bit of biostats and ethics as well. In step 2, you will have all your final prof clinical subjects. So core will be medicine. After that, you have surgery, you have obs-gynae and pediatrics, which also play important roles, and the shorts come in here and there, not very, very important. So this is about the subjects. So so 6 months basically will cost you 419, a similar pricing for step 2 question bank also. So this also amounts to around 60,000, right? So this is a if you look at a total investment, in terms of the exam fees plus the question bank, it's gonna go somewhere around 2 lakhs of Indian rupees, right? So that is something that you can have in mind. This is the Amboss question bank, which is slightly cheaper. Yeah, so this is $230 for 6 months. So I mean, this is slightly more economical, I would say, as far as the money goes. So obviously you can try them both out. Apart from that, there are also these Nbme mock exams, right? So I would recommend taking at least 1 or 2 of them before appearing for the exams. They have a separate cost, but it is not too much. So it's cost per exam. So you can appear for these mock exams. So that will give you a very good exam feeling, and they also give you an estimated projected score of your exam, So that gives you a good assessment that are you exam ready, or maybe you need to put in 1 more month. Because here the scheduling is flexible. Even if you want to change your appointment, you can actually do it. There's a very small penalty that you have to pay, but you can actually change the exam, 1 week prior to it also. So that is something which is very good about this exam. So this is the main book, and this is something which I have talked about for NEET PG aspirants as well, right? This is a very, very useful, very concise, crisp book with a lot of facts in a very nice, tabulated, revisable manner, right? So it's very information heavy. So you need to use it very wisely. So you annotate it while doing your question bank. So how I had used it is I used my UWorld as the main source, and I always had this by the side. Anytime I find some extra point from UWorld world, I will just note it down along with that particular section of the book. I will make a detailed video on how to go about this book, because I think this is a very, very useful book for every medical PG aspirant or any exam that you are appearing for. This is something which is very useful. So I'll also make a detailed video on how to approach this book and what it contains. But every year you have a new edition here. There are minor changes that it has as updates, but it's always a wiser idea to go for the latest update. So this is the first aid for USMLE step 1. So this basically has two main sections. One is the high general principle, wherein you have all of the general part of these subjects. You have biochem, micro, immuno, general path, general pharma, and biostats and ethics. And then you have the system wise arrangement, wherein you will have right from anat, physio, pathology, pharmacology, everything arranged in one order system wise, which makes the learning very integrated, very holistic. And you also have psychiatry which is a part of the first year USMLE step 1, remember that. Okay, so within system, if you go along, so as I said, you'll have you'll start off with the very basic embryo, you'll go on from anat, physio, patho, pharma. So this builds a very conceptual learning in your mind as far as systems go, and that is why this is very good for the PG exam also, because this forms a good base, and then you follow it up with your medicine, and it becomes very holistic and very conceptual, and that is how the questions are gonna come, right? For step 2 CK, you have the first aid, but another good book that a lot of people use is MTB, which is Master the Boards by Conrad Fisher. So both of these books are very good. Because I love first aid, I used first aid, but this is also a good book. However, I felt this is more prose than facts. For revision, I feel that tables, facts, arranged in a very concise manner is better. However, MTB I felt was very good to read. It's an easy read, but it's not very good to revise. I mean, everything is given in a paragraph prose form. So good to read, but I mean, I don't feel it is that high yield as first aid, So that is about it. Apart from that, if you're starting out, if you've not done your curriculum once, then these are the detailed books. So you have Kaplan notes, you have the high yield series for every subject. So if you have time at hand and you're doing an exhaustive preparation, go in details of all the subjects while doing the question bank, read all of these notes simultaneously. Again, these are very easily available as PDFs, so I would recommend just using a soft copy rather than investing in the hard copy, but again, whatever suits a person. Yeah, so you have the high yield series, which is particularly very good for biostatistics, and Kaplan notes are very good for the rest of the subjects, right? So that is how you can also build your base. So that's it. That is all that I had for you as far as a brief introduction to USMLE goes. Just type in your comments if you want any other topics from me at this point of time. We will come in with more videos as far as content goes, wherein I will be taking a few classes for you guys. So do let me know what you want from this channel and from me, and we'll get back to you. So thank you so much.